Hello, welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Connor Eyzaguirre,
Caleb Bajay.
and today we're discussing the David Ayer directed action flick The Beekeeper, starring the one and only Jason Statham. First, I guess you can say, hit of the year, and a really fun, action-packed, crazy movie. Not exactly original, but you know what? It's action. It's the one-man army movie. We've seen them, but this one's fun, and fun matters more than anything else.
Yeah, look, it's like I've said before, like there's not really a lot of there's no originality in Hollywood. Let's just be upfront. No originality in movie business anymore.
Nah.
It's how you deliver it though, and if you know what you are, and this film delivers that on both fronts. It knows exactly the type of film it is, and it delivers. It doesn't take itself that seriously, especially with some of the dialogue. Um,
You're goddamn right, I'm a problem.
yeah, right. Or the constant bee metaphors are like, oh, we're going hard on these.
They really had to force that shit, but you know what? Okay.
Yeah, but like because the film knows what it's doing, the film embraces it, and it's Jason Statham. He's kind of I haven't really seen do like a full on solo action film like this in a long time. Um, that by like maybe 10 minutes in, I went, okay, fuck it, whatever this film brings, I'm in. Like I was on board, and like I said, it delivers. The action is great. No, it's not the John Wick action. They do cut a bit more, but like it's still like that nice middle ground that action used to be where it wasn't overly cut. You still knew what the hell was going on.
Yeah. It's part of that, John Wick didn't invent this type of revenge movie, but it definitely popularized it. The whole, you know, guy who lives apart from society gets fucked with in some way, and somebody who knows about it is like, "What did you do to this guy? Do you know what this guy was? Do you know what he's gonna do to you?" It's like, yeah, we all have seen that, but I love that kind of movie. The John Wicks, the Sisus, the Beekeepers. Like I like that kind of movie.
Yeah,
So bring it.
yeah, if done well, they're fun. They're fun. And you get great moments like in here where Jeremy Irons is like he's a beekeeper and he goes, "Oh," and like he instantly knows what this kid's done. And he's like, "Kid, you don't know who you just fucked with."
Yeah. Dude, when he's like telling the seals, like, compared to him, you all are, well, pussies. Like to hear Jeremy Irons say that, I was like, oh, okay.
Dude, me and Josh, 'cause we both went to go see this. We're dying laughing when he called a bunch of ex special forces fucking pussies compared to this guy. I'm like, that's beautiful. That's cinema.
Academy Award winner Jeremy Irons, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, yeah, this is fun. David Ayer, outside of uh his, I guess, self-proclaimed masterpiece, Suicide Squad, has proven to be a very effective, exciting action director, and I like what he produces. I just wish he would let things go.
Dude, I honestly I feel the same way. I usually when I see his name attached to like an action, I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be at least a good time. And it usually is. I'm usually walking away really happy. Yeah, you could argue, obviously I'm sure some younger people nowadays with today's fucking climate would argue it's very machismo and profanity fueled dialogue. Who gives a fuck? Um, like, and I actually said that because one of the reviews I read on thing like IGN mentioned it was like everyone just acts like they have to say the most fucks in the movie. I'm like, who cares? It's rated R. Like, adults are watching it. Shut the fuck up. Um,
Adults are talking. Be quiet.
yeah, sit down, kid. You clearly shouldn't be reviewing this movie, you fucking idiot. Um, but I really like his stuff, but dude, he's mainly been in the news recently, like you said, because for those who know, he directed not the Suicide Squad, the good James Gunn one. He directed the second, wait, wait, technically third. I forget, man. So it's counted as the first, third DCEU movie, Suicide Squad. Well, um, and it was a horrendous piece of shit. And he claims that his cut is infinitely times better to the point that it's a masterpiece. That it's like, dude, I'm at a point I'm like, let it go. First off, look, I'll say it. I don't think, well, I think Snyder's Justice League is a more complete film and tells a much better story. It was also over 4 hours long and self-indulgent as fuck. I get the feeling I'm going to feel the same way about his Suicide Squad, where it's like, yeah, it's a better told film, but still not that good.
Yeah, I'm now that it's over and we can finally collectively move on from the DCEU. I don't want stragglers like this. I don't want director's cuts. I don't want producers' cuts. I just want us all to take the L and let James Gunn try to win some faith back. That's all I want.
That's all I want. And also, like, okay, we get like the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, better story. You still can't erase away the atrocious looking Killer Croc you committed to film.
Yeah, your weirdly Academy Award winning makeup of Killer Croc. I still don't know how that happened.
They were high on their own supply, dude. I remember as soon as I saw that film, I went, this looks awful. When I saw Killer Croc, I was like, this looks like dog shit.
Well, unless the bad guy in the Ayer cut is, maybe the Joker and not fucking Enchantress and Incubus. So right there, I don't know.
And and even then, okay, you fix that, right? Joker's in it more because I know apparently a lot of his scenes were cut. Is it still a good Joker? Like, is it really truly a good Joker? Like, I wasn't really that convinced with Jared Leto's performance. And I also one that was like, guys, calm down. It's Leto. He's usually really good. We're in safe hands. And I was wrong in that one. I was wrong. I can admit it. I was wrong.
But outside of Suicide Squad, he gave us Fury, he gave us End of Watch, he wrote Training Day, he wrote the first Fast and the Furious. Like he's good. I mean, he also did Bright and the Tax Collector, but no one has a perfect track record.
No, and I actually enjoyed Bright when it came out. I haven't seen it since it came out, but I wasn't like I remember watching going, I don't get why everybody hates this. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, I think that he's a bit hit and miss, but when he hits really fucking good. And the
Oh yeah.
Beekeeper was a hit.
Yeah, Beaker was a hit, and I will say Interwatch and both Fury are real other good hits for me. I
I
like those two a
fuck
lot.
I fucking loved End of Watch. That's one of the tensest movies I've ever watched. You never know when something's gonna blow up.
Yes, dude, it's that whole end shootout when they're trying to escape. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was a winner. That was a great movie. uh, so of course this movie stars the one and only Jason Statham, action star extraordinaire. He of the Cockney, you know what I mean, and just a amazing, charismatic screen presence. Not a great actor, but give me an action star who's a great actor. You can't do it.
Yeah, no, he's not winning Academy Awards, but like the dude's charismatic as fuck. He can sell you on a character real easy. And as we saw in Spy, he has no issues making fun of his own persona. So like he is the type of he's to me the only true action star still consecutively working in the genre that we have left. That fits that old time mold. And obviously, even like Kanye Reeves, he's been able to switch between like action and comedy real easy. He can do horror. Don't always watch his traumas. I won't lie. Not exactly rushing to see those, mostly because I think his range is limited. Sorry, Kanye. Love you, but still. Um, Statham to me has always felt like the one true like just constantly still working action. I think also because of like that period of like I think the 2000s when it was just like a bunch of Statham flicks that came out where even if they were an okay movie, I still liked it because I was watching Statham do his thing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I remember reading about how he got his start as an actor and just thought, yeah, this would make sense how he got started here. He was a kind of a background dancer. He's a dancer background dancer with a dancer background, and he also did some moonlighting as a street hustler, and he sold Guy Ritchie like a fake gold watch or something, and Guy Ritchie went to go find him and said like, "Hey, this watch you sold me was fake," and Statham like tried, sold him a yarn about how it's not fake, and like Guy Ritchie was like, "You're a sarcastic prick, and I like you. You want to be in my new movie?" And he cast him in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and that was the beginning of Jason Statham.
Jesus.
Yeah, he did. He cast him in Snatch 2 years later, and the ball just never stopped.
Now look at him. He's one of like cinema's biggest action stars. He's I think getting married or whatever. He's with the chick from the third Transformers film that replaced Megan Fox briefly.
Yeah, the chick who I think Shia LaBeouf was scared to interact with because Statham was just around the corner at all times, being like, watch your hands, kid, watch your
Yeah.
hands.
I know. Oh, dude, when I saw who they had, like, I remember when that was coming out and they announced who they replaced Megan Fox, I was like, that person would go for Shia LaBeouf? No. And then I looked at, like, so I was like, well, she's hot. Let me look her up. And I saw she was with Statham, and I was like, now that tracks. That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. Like, of course. Um, yeah. So, what are some of your favorite Jason Statham movies, just off the top of your head?
Oh, dude, Crank. Both Cranks have always been favorites of mine. I love to go to the Transporter series, even though the sequels got wildly inconsistent. Um, but yeah, all three Transporters. Both Cranks. I love his turn in the first two Expendables films. I think what happened to that franchise after kind of sucks. But first two, and then outside of that, I've always liked him in Spy. Like I said, Spy is another favorite of mine where he was like, let me just kind of have fun with it. He has some of the best fucking one-liners in that movie. Um, and then I actually before they kind of got weird with his character and they've been trying to figure out what to do with his character in the franchise since.
Yeah.
I liked him as a bad guy in in Furious 7. I thought he was fucking great as the bad guy for whatever the hell's going on with it. And in Hobbs and Shaw, he had good interplay with The Rock.
Yeah, yeah, those are all good calls. It is weird how almost every bad guy of that franchise ends up, coming to the barbecue eventually.
Yeah. Also, my other prediction, because I was right about the whole David Gordon Green thing. I might be right about Fast 11. Did
Ooh.
you hear? Apparently, they're going back to basics and they're going to do a $200 million or less Fast 11 movie. I'm like, the only way they're not saying it, but for you to do that kind of budget means more than likely we're about to hear a certain main star isn't in the movie. 'Cause I guarantee you half their budget has been his fucking salary.
So does that mean that like Hobbs and what's his name, Dante, are going to settle the fate of the world with like an LA street race? Because that's back to basics.
Probably.
Bring it. Fine,
It's
whatever.
just it's like them saying without saying we got rid of Vin Diesel because of the allegations. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just say you got rid of him and that's why you have to go back to basics.
Well, the thing about street fights, the street always wins.
Always wins.
Uh um I really like Death Race.
Death
I didn't
Race was good. I liked it.
I didn't expect to like Death Race, and I think that's why I liked it so much. It's the movie where I got to hear Academy Award nominated actress Joan Allen say the sentence, "All right, cocksucker, fuck with me and we'll see who shits on the sidewalk."
Oh yeah.
To this day, I have no idea what the hell that means. But it's just a fun, Statham kind of framed for murder movie. It's a fun one.
That was a
Um,
good one. I like that one a lot too.
I remember you made me watch Homefront early on when we first started the website, and I was like, "This is neat." Kind of a Bayou Statham, okay, versus James Franco. I'll take it.
What I loved is that they Statham did not change his accent for that movie, but you had fucking Franco like, look, I know he's controversial now for very good reasons. Um, but when he comes in as fucking Gator, you're doing meth in my part of Louisiana. Like, all right, Franco.
You know
That
what?
was a really good movie too. I remember really enjoying that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time. I'd like to check it out again. One of my surprise. All right, I don't like these movies, but I like him in them because only he could make this work, and it's the Meg movies. Only Statham could hold a megalodon back with just one raised leg.
Yeah, no, you make a good point. You make a really good point.
Anybody else, those are the dumbest movies in somebody's catalog, but with him, it's just another Friday night.
He does this all of the time. You
Yeah,
know, another good one. I'm looking at now. I'm looking at my his IMDb actually real quick to refresh my memory here.
yeah.
The Mechanic, the remake of The Mechanic that he did,
Hmm.
not the bullshit sequel, Mechanic Restoration. That one actually did suck. That's one of the few where even I'm like, his presence doesn't save the movie.
Ah,
Um, but the first Mechanic was really fucking good. It's like him and Ben Foster is in it as like his apprentice, and it's really fucking good.
I didn't catch that one. Uh, I'll have to
High
check.
recommendation. High recommendation for me.
I watched Wild Card about a year ago. Uh, Kind of ridiculous. Didn't really make a lot of sense. He's like a card shark and a hitman and a bodyguard and like just whatever the hell people need him to be, I guess. And it's not a great story, but he's holding that thing together, just being Jason Statham in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I remember that one. There was also Parker. It was an okay movie. It was like him and I think Jennifer Lopez was his fucking love interest. But I mean, I was like, Sam doing his thing and it's J-Lo. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's reliable. He's always good for a, kind of a laugh and a kick in the ass at the same time.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Also, real quick, let's not forget, early in his career, he was in John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars.
Ghosts of Mars. Jericho Butler. Oh yeah.
Can't can't let us not remember that.
As much as I'd love to forget that I watched that movie, I did see it multiple times.
Yeah, I've watched it multiple times myself, even though I've never once enjoyed the multiple times I've watched it.
Nope. Uh, I think he's pretty kick-ass in the Expendables movies. We haven't really talked about those. Uh, kind of
Yeah,
became Sylvester Stallone's unofficial protege with those movies.
yeah, they had I remember especially in the first year, they had really good chemistry and yeah, I mean Statham doing his thing, being very much himself in those films, to the point that like for all the faults I had with like the fourth film, it was a smart move of all the actors having him be like the lead in that one since Stallone's barely in the fucking movie.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, if anyone was to take this, it'd be Statham. Like I would want Statham to take it.
yeah. They should have committed to that instead of just having Stallone's CGI'd face show up at the end to be like, "Hey, I'm not dead. I'm not really. I killed an innocent man for a gag."
What's his face? Dude, I got so like desensitized to the insane amount of CGI background, which was like the entire film, that I'm like, okay, at this point, anything else you do, I'm just gonna go, sure.
Uh, and then of course, there's like his stuff with Guy Ritchie, Snatch, which is he's fucking fantastic in Snatch. Him and Stephen Graham trying to get Brad Pitt to box is just a great story in that movie.
Yeah. Snatch and Lock, Stock, he's great in. That one he did, oh, fuck. I cannot ever remember the name because I thought it was okay. With Josh Hartnett, where he was faking being a cop.
Wrath of Man.
Wrath the Man. That was okay, but he was really good in it.
Yeah, he was. It was a good idea, but I didn't think it was executed all that well. And he followed that with Operation Fortune with Guy Ritchie, which I still haven't watched.
I haven't. He had a weird release. I think for some weird like issues they were facing with the content of the movie, or I guess the bad guys or something happened that caused a bad release.
I think it had something to do with the Ukraine Russia thing. I think there was like I have a feeling it was tied to that. I can't back that up. I just remember those being connected.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. I have it on my Vudu. I'd like to watch it at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it. Like I said, I'm very few times where I turn down like a Jason Statham movie. I'll be like, oh, he's in it. Sure, I'll watch it. Got my ticket.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so let's talk The Beekeeper. So this movie stems, like the action of this movie stems from Felicia Rashad getting scammed by a very well-funded group of con artists who are using government technology to scam wealthy people into financing government. It got a little complicated.
It look, it basically takes something that does happen, unfortunately, in real life to people like scam artists that are trying to get access to your banking information to fucking train you of your money.
Mhm.
It takes up, it says like, what if they were using government technology they stole and they're attacking people with like millions stashed away somewhere? Because
Yeah,
like she had like thing like 2 million, but it was for a charity that she was seeing. So it wasn't really her money, it was for a charity.
yeah,
And yeah, they get access to it and take it all.
yeah. In a very realistic scam that I bet does happen. You get a warning flashing on your computer that says you're about to lose all your data unless you call this phone number. And if you're not tech savvy, if you're, an older person who might not know how this works, you're going to call them thinking you're in a safe place. They're going to get your bank information and completely clean you out.
Yeah, and that part was kind of like really kind of like horrifying for me in a weird way because
Yeah.
like you know luckily a lot of us are getting into this generation of we know technology, but with that, that means the scammers are getting smarter. You know, they've been doing things now. They impersonate these companies' emails and like phone numbers and stuff to try to get to you. But like you said, it happens. You got old people that unfortunately they're not good with technology. Sometimes I think she said her daughter set her up with all this stuff. You know, daughter can only come over whenever she's able. Well, if she's not able to call her, hey, she has this thing, she's assuming because she doesn't know a computer, oh, this is real. I need to make this phone call. Something that happens all the time, and especially, unfortunately, to old people.
Yeah, the movie makes a consistent point that like old people are, vulnerable and nobody really cares when they lose things. It's like their lives are already over, so like why make the effort? Which is a pretty fucked up view. Uh and Statham, hammers that home. It's like either, you know, nobody cares or nobody wants to find out.
Yeah, it's a very American view because if you look at how we treat the elderly compared to other countries,
Yeah.
like for all the issues, obviously with China, they have like a respect your elders type of thing, like and much more than we do, where it's very common for generations of families to live in the same house, so they have like grandparents stuff living with them,
Hmm.
so they can continue to take care of them. Whereas we don't, we have the stigma of retirement homes. If we're like, oh, I don't want to do them, stick them into retirement home. Oh, we don't need to see mom and dad. Some of it I think is horrendous American attitude towards how we treat older people. Some of it is like, hey, you reap what you sow, right? If you're a bad parent, what do you expect when your kids move out? They don't have to no longer be under you. But some of it is like I think just a horrendous way we like to treat our elderly that needs to be I think fixed.
Yeah. It's kind of like I have a, like my family's really close. My mom will, if I ever need help with something, financially or anything, she'll help me out. And whenever I tell her, I'll pay her back, she always tells me like, no, the way you pay me back is you don't put me in a home. Like take care of me when I'm old and we're good. And I'm like, all right, solid.
I
So
like the
that's my commitment is my mom helps me now. I help her in 20, 30 years.
That's why I like to joke with my parents. I'm like, you guys keep some of the shit up. You're not living with me if you need to. I'm just gonna put you in a home. My mom's always like, well, that's weird. I'm like, okay, I'll meet you halfway. I'll do a garage apartment so you're not in my house.
That's the compromise. You go live in the garage.
Make it really nice in there.
That's funny. Um, all right, so Felicia Rashad loses everything, and it's in the preview, so we're not spoiling anything here. But also, this is first thoughts. We're going through the movie. We're gonna spoil. That's how this works.
Yeah,
And
especially because we'll be talking about some of the more awesome and ridiculous action scenes as we go along.
yeah, bones get broken a lot, and he loves to set fires. So
People get punched, faces get smashed.
yeah, fast. A lot of people in quick succession. Turns out if you just don't fight the hero one at a time, you can take these guys down. If you're not just, all right, your turn. Now your turn. You go. Now your turn. Oh, it's mine. Like they never learned that one.
They
Rush the
never
guy.
did.
Somebody grab his arms. Somebody else stab him. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but then we want to have fun action films with that.
But it makes me wonder, like, are these guys, really that amazing at what they do, or are they just dealing with incompetent shitheads all the time?
Dude, that's like every single action film. Because even if you look at like John Wick, no one actually really goes after him. Like if when they do hand-to-hand fights, they also stop massively attacking. They're just like, okay, now you go, now you go,
Yeah.
now you
It
try it.
always makes me laugh when like he's fighting some guy and there's like a group, but like three of the guys are just standing behind John Wick, watching him. Like this is you're behind him. This is the moment. Stab
Yeah,
him in the head.
like the closest we get is like martial arts films. Sometimes they will do it, but even then, a lot of times they'll just have it be like a couple of guys attacked by everyone else. Sometimes they'll find reasons. Like I know in the Raid 2, they have that whole prison sequence,
Mhm.
or in like Extraction 2, they found a way around it with that prison fucking escape where it's like, well, okay, yeah, people are distracted, there's chaos. Yeah, but when it's not that,
Yeah. Um so Felicia Rashad loses everything and she kills herself. Puts a bullet in her head. And Statham is this kindly beekeeper who just helps her with things and lives on her property, rents a barn, and he goes to check out. He was invited there for dinner, and he was going to bring some honey, and he looks around and he finds the body, and uh, her daughter was there too, federal agent Felicia Rashad's daughter, I don't remember her name.
So
Uh,
you should know this more than me right now.
I think it was, yeah, Verona. And she didn't notice her dead mother in the living room.
That's what I thought she was in there for at first, was because she noticed her dead mother and assumed he did it. But then he says, "I'm sorry." So I was like, maybe she came in after him and
No.
like the door was open. So she thought, assumed he was breaking in or something. That was my thought. But I thought, oh, okay. All right.
So they go through that process pretty quickly. She finds out what really happened. She was, mom was scammed and took her own life, and she's devastated and she wants justice. Statham's gonna get justice. Adam Clay is not gonna let this shit slide.
After a super long metaphor speech on how bees operate and how they have to protect the hive.
Protect the hive. Yeah, it's very forced, but
It
fine.
look,
We're
especially
running
with
out of action metaphors. Where movies have been around for over 100 years. We are running dangerously low on shit to compare to action stuff. So now
yeah,
we're on to bees.
yeah, it's really funny because like I'm not gonna at first I'm like, man, they're really hammering home these bee metaphors in this really clunky dialogue. I was like, I really hope this action's good. It makes me forget because wow.
Yeah, I was feeling that too. Like, oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, I
Um,
love how the camera zooms in as he's saying the speech on the table. I'm like, wow, this was really like Statham's moment to shine, wasn't it?
I love when he goes out to the apiary, which is what homemade beehives are called. Just there's your word of the day. And he pulls like he's got his like equipment in the apiary. He
Yeah.
pulls out a phone. He calls the beehive HQ, and they're like, "What the hell are you doing? Aren't you retired?" Like, oh, we're getting little pieces here. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I do like the breadcrumbs. I give credit, the little breadcrumbs of like, we're going to slowly feed this to you as it goes along.
and then he's like, "I need a favor." And he gets the location of the call center, and the call center, the fucking Wolf of Wall Street style floor where there's like an MC who's like, "Scam those motherfuckers!" Like that was so unnecessary, but really funny.
It was, and it kind of shows that like what I liked about it was like it was so over the top, but gets you ready for other over the top elements are introduced. So you're not sitting there going, "Why is my grounded action film going really over the top?" Well, okay, I already just watched this guy like emceeing his way through a scam, so whatever, I'm on board.
Well, that and you need to not feel bad when Jason Statham starts murdering these people. And
This
if
is
they're
true.
if they're guys who are just like, fuck grandma, take her money. Yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, well, I'll watch you burn alive, sure.
Yeah, sure, we'll watch you die. Um, I do love when he goes to the call center because I feel like that's where we're getting at now, right? The
Oh yeah.
call.
Oh yeah, we're
Yeah,
there.
when he goes there and he just calmly pulls out the cans and tells them, I'm basically very upfront. Matter of fact, just like, I'm going in there and burning it down. Are you going to get out of my way or do I need to beat you up? I love when they're like, we'll count to three. He just goes, one, two, three. I'm like, dude, this is the Stath I know. This is the Statham I love. Let's go.
Here's a good rule of thumb for life. If you see a very in shape, angry looking man walking towards you holding gas cans and a look of determination, maybe just walk away.
Yeah. And if you try to intimidate him and he is not phased, you might want to start being concerned.
I love when he goes up to the front desk and puts the fucking cans like right there. And she
Yeah.
doesn't even look up. She's like, please sign in. And he's like, and just goes up to the office. He's like, hey, make sure you tell the other companies in here to leave. Shit's about to get rough.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Then he just goes up there, starts pouring shit. I love he gives them a chance. Like, repeat after me. Don't steal. And they all just laugh at him. Then he beats the living shit out of that one guy with a phone. And now he has everyone's attention.
Oh yeah, I love that. He just grabs and beats that dude. I'm like, Jesus, I'm pretty sure he killed that guy with the fire too. That guy did not wake up.
Nope. No, he did not. He just starts throwing gas on everything. I love that.
I
Yeah,
love how he doesn't give two shits about the people too. He's like throwing gas on them. Like, well, if you're stuck here, not my problem.
pretty much. And then that one guy, Garnett, just starts throwing bodies at Statham, and he takes them all down with like keyboards and phones and shit. That was cool. That was a good fight.
Oh yeah, the way he's just able to grab things and use his surroundings to beat the shit out of these people. Nice.
Oh yeah, very nice. He burns the place down, blows it up. The feds are like, "This is weird. I think we know who did this." But they don't do much beyond that because they're kind of like, maybe this isn't our fight. Maybe we just let this happen. Uh,
They're kind of bad people. We should just not do a whole lot.
and Garnett calls his boss, Josh Hutcherson, who plays just the most millennial Bitcoin douchebag I've ever seen.
Yeah, good for him. Compared to the roles I usually see him play, I was like, you know what? Good job, Josh Hutcherson. What are you going for the douchebag of the year, aren't you?
Yeah, and this whole idea of using this algorithm to steal from wealthy elderly people was his idea. So this is his brainchild. And Garnett's like, hey, we might have a problem. And, the call center's gone. He's like, what? Fucking gone? The way he kind of like, you know, ekes out that information to Hutcherson had me laughing. Like, dude, just tell him what happened.
I like how even you can kind of see him like, what do you mean the call center was gone? And they just show the shot of him staring at this burnt down fucking call. I'm like, Jesus, Statham took that shit out.
Yeah. Uh, so Garnett, hunts Statham down with a team, and they find him in the barn at Felicia Rashad's house. And of course, Statham knew they were coming. You can't you can't sneak up on a beekeeper. And he home alones his fucking barn and takes these
Dude,
guys out, and it was awesome.
but also, dude, when he popped that one dude's eyeballs out of their socket, I was like, holy shit, okay, movie. And I love the way he tortures like Garnett. Like he takes his fucking hand and slices it through and cuts his fingers off. And I was like, shit.
And then seemingly just lets him go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, okay, we'll get to that. I love how he's just basically it's like a fucking tapping into his Furious 7 persona and just popping up to torture this poor guy.
Yeah, when he straps him to the truck and just lets him fly off the bridge, that was beautiful.
Well,
While Hutcherson is hearing all this on the phone.
I love how that happens because you get the scene, they investigate the barn, right? And they're like, Jesus Christ. And then you cut back to Garnett, who's now trying to get away. His hands all bandaged up. He's on the phone with Hutcherson, and all of a sudden you just hear, "Oh, what the fuck?" And you see, like he followed him apparently, beat the shit out of him, pull him out of the car, and tie him up, and then just fly him off the bridge.
Yeah, then picked up the phone and it's like, "Hey, you're next." And then hangs up.
Yeah, I'm coming after you.
At that point,
I,
Hutcherson, huh?
I love how Hutcherson tries to sound tough too. I'm like, you just listen to this guy murder your dude, and you're trying to sound tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your name? Oh, fuck you, Mr. Fuck you. Oh, that's cute. Uh, um, so now Hutcherson goes to his stepdad, uh, or his not his stepdad. Yeah,
Not
stepdad.
stepdad.
No, his real
No.
dad died, remember?
Yeah, his bro dad died. They weren't that
Oh, I always
Irons
assumed
was
my
yeah,
mistake.
Irons was not romantically involved with his mom.
All right, my mistake.
You could tell he had things for his mom. There's definitely some feelings there, but it was not like they weren't like married or anything.
Okay, never mind. He goes to Jeremy Irons, as one does when there's a situation. And if I ever have a problem, I'm gonna go straight to Jeremy Irons. Um, and he just tells him like, "Hey, so there's this guy says he's a beekeeper. He's fucking up our people." And Irons says like, "He's what?" And he has a moment of like, "Oh no." It's the same face that Vigo Tarasov made when he found out his son fucked up John Wick's dog.
Yeah, like why would you do it to this guy?
Yeah.
Why this guy?
Because Irons used to be the head of the CIA, and like there were programs even he was not allowed to know about, and one of them was the Beekeeper program. And the beekeepers, it's a very forced metaphor. I know I keep saying that, but they truly do shove it down our throats.
They really do. Though lucky this film was entertaining as fuck, 'cause they do shove it down our throats.
They really do. They shove that honeycomb right up our asses. And basically, the Beekeeper program is an independent, unsanctioned, super black ops team that operates outside the system and uses their best judgment to determine whenever the hive is in danger and correct when needed.
And their agents do not stop until it is over.
Yeah, they're living terminators who, you know, are fueled by honey instead of, I don't know, whatever the hell terminators are fueled on. And
Whereas you don't want to be in the way of one if he is set on your sights or
no,
she.
I did love when like So the current beekeepers are like, we got to send a beekeeper to take care of the old beekeeper. I thought that was going to be some big ass awesome like movie long showdown, but it was 5 minutes at a gas station with a
Dude,
woman who was not really on par with Jason
yeah.
Statham.
Well, what I love about that whole thing is the only buildup we get is so we're going to send a beekeeper, the current activated one, to go get this one. So they're like, I love that. Isn't he supposed to be retired? Well, apparently he's not. He's acting on his own. He went rogue. And and I like when they're like, oh, that one, she's a little crazy. And I'm like, ooh, this should be good. And Statham quickly proves like, and I love that comment. He looks and he goes, you must be my replacement. And he makes a mincemeat out of her.
Well, she just like runs into him at the gas station, plows into his truck, starts shooting at him with a minigun. Like, not exactly subtle. These are your super government assassins? Is this the level of subtlety that usually these guys go through? I mean, if she just like sniped him from afar, she might have pulled this off.
Yeah, but she was like, I gotta go and I don't know if she underestimated. She went, oh, it's him. I have to go all in on him.
And
And
that's how I learned honey is flammable.
oh, dude, I love when he takes the jar of honey he's had this whole movie and chunks it at her and then sets it on fire.
Yeah, just burns her alive. That was awesome. And then the beekeepers are like, all right, we're gonna stay out of this one.
Yeah, dude, I love how quick they went. Well, that was our current one, and he took her out, so we're remaining neutral because we don't want him coming after us. We're done.
I fully expected that to be where this goes. Like somehow like he has to take down the whole beekeeper organization. That's maybe they're saving that for part two.
Maybe that was one thing they had kind of over John Wick. That was like, okay, that's a good way to make your guy terrifying. Like even they're like, nope, he took the current one out. We're done. We're neutral. Fuck that.
Yep. But Irons keeps sending people, including a team of ex special forces guys who apparently are too pussy to take care of this, according to him.
I,
That was
I
nice.
love I love that none of them jump his throat for that. He just straight up was like, in short, he makes you look like pussies, and I'm like, all right.
So then Statham he goes to the Boston call center where we meet him like the biggest douchebag in the world. This
Oh yeah.
this fucking Boston guy, like, hey, fuck you. What? What? We're not going anywhere.
This is like the most David Ayer moment of the film when like first you have the FBI go, "Ooh, let's do this," and they get served by the guys with the bigger balls, basically. Because again, if there's one thing David Ayer knows how to do is make like the most machismo dialogue you can fucking imagine, like, and then be like, "All right, leave, go," and they're just like, "We'll go stand outside," and then like it's followed up by them going up to the top, and then immediately getting told like, "Hey, get the fuck out of my room," and I'm like. Ayers, this is his moment right here. This is all him.
Dude, when Boston Jordan Belfort yells after them, like, bye bye. Thanks for coming. Like just being this super asshole. Uh, I was laughing my ass off though when like the FBI are regrouping outside and Statham just walks right up to them and starts participating in the conversation.
I was dying. I'm like, they don't realize it's him yet.
It took them a fucking while to realize this is the guy.
Yeah, I loved it. He just walks up, starts being like, "Yeah, man. I mean, if I would have taken them back, which I tried, I'm like, the balls," and
And
then kicks their ass.
yeah, lays them all out and then walks inside and does the same thing to the private security guys. And then the way he tortures the Boston guy by just smacking him with the stapler again and again. Oh, that was good.
That was good. And oh, dude, okay, how he takes out this SWAT team? Can we talk about that with the elevator?
Oh, that was awesome.
Holy shit!
The Kevlar like wire was so neat. I've never seen that before. That was cool.
Yeah, and it's as like our FBI agents were following, or like, okay, we have to go up and get them, and you see like the guys be like, oh shit, and the thing drops, the one guy gets like cut in fucking half.
You can't have an elevator moment in an R-rated action movie without somebody getting something chopped by the elevator.
No, no. And then we do get the big old mano a mano fight with the lead special forces and Salem.
Yeah.
He takes them out with a fucking fire hydrant,
Fire extinguisher.
fire extinguisher. There we
Hydrant
go.
would have been fucking awesome.
Yeah, that would have been cool too. Actually, now I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, lays him out. He just falls over and goes to work. And at that point, we will learn just who Josh Hutcherson's mother is that makes this whole situation so rocky. She's the fucking president. Did not
Yeah.
expect that.
No, I when they made that reveal, I was like, oh, this got interesting.
Yeah. All of a sudden now, this is a national security threat.
One man
Yeah.
taking these people out, and he's going after the fucking president's son.
Yep. And Irons has the bright idea to use the Secret Service to protect himself and Hutcherson, which they do. They all go to President Danforth's like beach house for a nice party.
Yeah, well, the Secret Service and the South African people we need to talk about,
Oh,
like
here we go.
mercenary group that he hires as well.
So this South African, like, he looks like if Pikachu was a person. He just is hanging out and just saying the most outlandish shit. He apparently killed a beekeeper once, but not without losing a foot, and he's aching for some payback.
Oh yeah, I love how like he even kind of puts Hutchinson in his place when he's like, dude, it's one man. And he's like, he's a fucking beekeeper. He goes, yeah, but you took one out. Yeah, I killed one, but he took my leg with him. And I'm like, the fact that even this dude has like some kind of respect for them, it's like, even he's like, look, man, I know he says it, I got lucky. I'm like, the fact that he can admit that, he's like, no, I got fucking lucky and he took my leg out. These are the type of people you're dealing with, kid. This is who you pissed off.
I swear to God, I thought that dude was Scottish when he first opened his mouth. He just had
No,
this like kind of brug. I was
no,
like, this guy's
that
nuts.
was that accent, the spit flying out of his mouth. I'm like, this is South African.
And he does give Statham the fight of the movie. This guy he gets shot in the fucking face and then gets up and is like, "You're fucking mine," and goes
Oh,
after.
dude, when he gets him, he goes, fucking beekeeper. He has like blood coming out of his fucking mouth because he got shot in the mouth. I'm like, God damn, he just keeps getting scarred up.
Yeah. I do love how he again just walked into the party and like started just put down the entire team of mercenaries in a
Dude,
second.
okay, so everything about this whole sequence is badass. Like the way he gets through all the Secret Service guys, and then he's just waltzing around the party at first, so finally they're like, it's him. We gotta get him. And I love that the fucking South African mercenaries don't give any shits about subtlety. They're just running through the party with their guns out, like, no, we got a fucking beekeeper. We're doing this.
Yeah, and he's fighting all them. Danforth, the president, finds out her son basically funded her campaign with illegal funds, which is not going to fly come the primaries. And
Oh.
she's actually a decent human being who wants to fess up to the nation, which I was not expecting. I fully expected her to be at the top of this pyramid. You don't often have billionaires who became
No,
politicians who actually wanted to be good people.
I say, don't you love in movies the presidents are always honorable?
Well, not since the 90s. It's been a while since we had an honorable president.
True, but I'm just saying it seems like they always are just so esteemed in movies and in real life. Well, I'll let you watch the news for that one,
We've had
folks.
shit bags for 50 years.
Yeah. Um, yeah, dude. And dude, the whole time, like she's fine, like we are getting one of the best action sequences with Statham as he's going up like taking these people out. That one scene where it looked like he took apart the dude's gun and flung it at the other dude to kill him, gets into the party, is going up the stairs, and is like without any effort as he's going up the stairs, taking people out just one by one. Like it's just easy work for him.
He ends up slicing up the South African, finally gets him in the throat and puts him down. But that was, he got a few licks in. He
That
saved him.
Yeah, that was a fucking great fight. Because I remember when he gets up, I'm thinking like, we haven't seen that dude yet, and he just pops on like, here we go, and they get a really good fight. I like when he finally sees his leg and just fucking kicks it.
Yeah, you don't get to be a beekeeper by fighting clean.
No,
Uh,
and then fucks the way, dude. He doesn't even kill that guy quick. Like he slices him up, gets his fucking throat, and then jams that thing in there. And I'm like, Jesus, he was fucking taking that one out.
I loved when Jeremy Irons tried to be the bigger man and be like, "We don't need to do this," and the beekeeper just grabbed his fucking wrist and snapped it, and
Yeah, and then was basically like, get out of my way.
he just starts like, just sobbing to himself and sits down in a chair quietly.
Yeah, I'm like,
Now fully aware of his place.
right? I love that. Like, look, you've made your point. You know that Jeremy Irons, a fucking accent he has. It's like you've made your point. Now, can we just stop? And I'm like, you were hiding behind a mercenary group that he killed every single one of, and Secret Service people that he took out every single one of. What are you gonna do there, dude?
Y'all funded an operation that forced his only friend to kill herself. This is ending with blood. Lots of it.
Yeah, like I have watched for the past like hour and a half this dude kick all sorts of ass and not even like sweat. What are you going to do?
Well, at this point, Hutcherson has killed the deputy director of the FBI because he's not going to prison and almost kills his mother, the president, before Statham puts a bullet in his head. And mom has mixed emotions about that whole situation.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where like I understood her reaction because at the end of the day, her son. Um, it's a really cool scene, and because I remember when we got to that scene in the movie, and he's there, and finally our FBI agents have caught up with him, and it's like, oh shit, how is this going down? Like, I'm fully thinking like they're probably going to end up with him getting killed at the end of this. Like he's going to get shot and killed. He'll get his revenge, but he'll probably die. And then yeah, you see Josh Hutcherson still being the little shit he is, more than willing to say, fuck it, I'll just take my mom out. The president of the United fucking States at that. And without second thought, like Statham just pulls the fucking trigger and hits him square in the head. And they let him go. I love that. They were like, all right, well, you know what? We didn't see this.
Well, at that point, I was thinking like if anybody was gonna kill him in this, it would have been South African Pikachu, but he's dead. And I was thinking like there's no way they're gonna let like douchebag Hutcherson kill the beekeeper. There's no way. So at that point, I was like, he's gonna get out of this alive. There's gonna be sequel potential, and all is well with the world.
Yeah, so I'm trying to laugh South African Pikachu. That's just gold.
He looked like, yeah, or like if Jubilee from the X-Men like really let herself go.
I just love how ridiculous he is. Not that this film didn't have ridiculous elements, but it goes a long stretch without it. And then all of a sudden you get this over the top South African thing. But at this point, I'm so in on the movie. I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's see how this plays out.
You ever see The Purple Rose of Cairo?
No.
It's a Woody Allen movie where this actress falls in love with a character in a movie she's watching at the theater, and the guy in the movie sees her, walks out of the screen into the audience, and like charms her, and they go start dating. I imagine a similar thing happened with the movie playing in the theater next to mine. I don't know, probably some wacky South African anime shit. And that guy walked out of the theater, walked into the Beekeeper, and nobody noticed, so they just went with it.
Yeah. At that point, everyone's like, kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. Wacky South African bad guy. Let's go.
So in
But
the, yeah, good.
but yeah, no, I do like that. My only I think real gripe was like it felt like the ending like I mean obviously there was really nothing more we could say about the end of this film, but it felt like they just like a hard cut to credits. Where I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I
Credits
thought
are
we were gonna get like he was gonna go see that charity and like give them a check for $2 million.
oh yeah, like he's actually like fully loaded
Yeah,
on cash.
or he like took it from them or something. I feel like he got the money back, something like that. I thought that's where that was gonna go, but no, I guess not. He just sunk, put on the scuba gear, sunk beneath the waves, and roll credits.
Yeah, went back to live his life. Yeah, dude, I will say at the end of this film, I was like, you know what? I'd be down to see more of this Ford. Um, where they give something Jason Statham, something meaty, to chew on for a sequel. Or Josh had a good idea actually, because you have that scene where he activates and it shows like I think all the different places around the ward,
Mm.
and he was saying like, what if like they did like there's like, what if it's international beekeeping organization basically, and they could expand it that way. We're like, hey, we can do like some martial arts one in like Taiwan or something, and kind of do cool expansions like that with this universe. Because I was thinking like, give someone like Inko UIs something to chew on, and like he be a beekeeper, and we see some martial arts cool, action. So I give Josh credit. That wasn't a bad idea for if they wanted to expand this.
That is a cool idea. I like that. I could also see them doing something like like one of the beekeepers, goes rogue and like takes over a small nation or something, and then like they reach out to Statham and you're like, we need you to take this guy out. You're the only one who can. And it's some like other big action star, like fucking Keanu Reeves, for instance.
Ooh, I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet. Oh yeah, like I said, like if it's a one and done action film, cool. I'm totally fine with this outcome. It's a really fucking fun movie. It's big dumb fun in the best possible way. If they can find something cool to tell and give what like state them something meaty to chew on, and
Mm.
let's not go the route of fucking mechanic resurrection. Hey, bring it on. Let the man have his own franchise for once. Stop putting him in a franchise. Let him have a franchise, for God's
Yeah,
sake.
yeah, they keep. Yeah, Death Race became a franchise without him, which was odd.
Yeah,
And yeah, like you said, Mechanics Resurrection didn't do that hot, and he's part of Expendables. He's part of Fast and Furious. Transporter was his franchise, but that also has moved on without him. And Crank never got a third movie. So yeah, maybe the Beekeeper is the magic one.
yeah. Hopefully, especially and look, I mean, thankfully in the case of Transporter, the one they did without him, I know like it fucking flopped. People were like, nope, we want to stay with them. We don't
Yeah.
want to watch anyone else in this role.
Ed Skrein left Game of Thrones to do that movie, and nope, didn't work out for anybody.
Is it me? There's a lot of like, Game of Thrones actors having issues with work post Game of Thrones.
I know it's almost like it's like when you are part of a very successful company, but then all of a sudden, like the CEO gets busted for insider trading, and it all falls apart, and now you're trying to shop your resume, but nobody wants you because you're tainted.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you see the creators talking shit about their Star Wars movie not happening and talking shit about Ryan Johnson being one of the reasons there it isn't happening.
Oh, is somebody upset that they have no talent or creative skill? That's a bummer.
Yeah, they were legit talking shit, going like, "Yeah, we want to do a First Jedi Order film or something like that." And then Ryan Johnson came out with The Last Jedi, and I'm like,
So you wanted to do the first Jedi, Ryan Johnson makes the last Jedi, and you're like, oh no, two of his words are in our title. We can't do it.
"Yeah." Also, get this real quick. Get this. HBO offered it, and you know how many times I'm sure HBO at this point is fucking done with those two idiots. They offered them. They said, "Hey, you don't literally have to do anything. It's in name only. We'll give you producer credit on all Game of Thrones spinoffs. It's an easy paycheck. You don't do anything. You don't have to be on set. You have zero input, but you'll get the money." They said no because they were like, we just wanted to be done with it. We wanted to wash our hands after that eighth season. I'm like, you mean the eighth season you fucked up? You two fucked up? And
Why would HBO make that deal? What did they get out of that?
I don't know. But that's the thing. I'm like, wait, the studio was being nice and trying to make a deal where like you just are in name only producers and you make money off it after you fucked up the last season that you want to wash your hands of, and you said no. That would be millions still in your pocket that you don't have to do anything for.
If these guys were car salesmen, they would end up buying cars from the customers.
Yeah, I'm like, you're fucking. And apparently they were like, yeah, HBO was really surprised we said no. I'm like, yeah, no shit, they were.
Who says no to that?
Yeah,
Oh my God. Yeah, these guys single-handedly completely obliterated the fandom of one of the biggest television shows in history. And that's kind of admirable in a sick way.
yeah. And apparently they haven't bothered to watch the spinoff. So they just wanted to put it past. I'm like, you mean the spinoff that's already off to a better start than your last fucking season?
Oh God. Well,
I'm very mad because I held off on that show. Like you and Stranger Things, right? I held off. I was like, they don't keep saying I'm gonna like it. I probably won't. Fuck that show. I'm not gonna watch it. And then I finally gave in. I was like, fuck it, let me just give it a shot. And see, unlike you, where you're being smart, you're waiting a couple years after Stranger Things ends.
yeah.
I went, hey, let me give it a shot. This last season's about to come out. I got invested. I liked it. I was like, okay, I'll give you people credit. You're right. I'm loving this. This is good TV. And then I watched that last season because I got done in time for it to air. And I went, oh no, why did I get invested?
Yeah, I felt bad. I felt worse for myself because I waited, I got into the show around season 4, where it was like really, really good. So I was like, oh, I get it, tits, dragons, I like this. And four ends with that, what was it, mind blowing moment.
Right? And
And
then
I'm like,
your
I can't
butters,
believe,
wiener, wiener, wiener.
oh yeah, like I can't believe what this is. And then the years went on. I'm like, this is amazing. Season 6 with the Battle of the Bastards, and I'm like, this is the greatest show ever. And then they they dropped the ball at the touchdown, and the other team won. I couldn't. It was like a perfect lead. Like there's no way they can drop it. Like in my mind, it was like, how do you possibly fuck up so bad this destroys the whole show? Like there's no way, but they found a way.
Yeah, and then the insane stories that came out about it, like HBO saying like, "Hey, we'll give you 10 episodes." And he went, "No." I'm like, "What is going through your mindsets?"
Every member of the cast being like, "Are you serious? Like this is how you're ending my character?" And they're like, "Yes, that is how we're ending your character."
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever watched the video of the table read of like those last 2 episodes?
No, and I don't think I want to.
It
Is
is
it
so fucking tense. Everyone looks so miserable and just broken and like, this is it? Really?
dude, I've been seeing like the cast talk about it since it's been out, and almost all of them have been like, "Yeah, it wasn't a good season." Then like what happened with my character? And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't either. Not
Yeah.
one bit."
What? Well, that sucks.
The fact
What?
yeah, the fact that I'm about to say Jon Snow, god damn it, I'm forgetting his name right now.
Kit Harington.
Thank you. Kit Harington pitched them the show to be like, "Hey, can we do this to like fucking end my character better?" And I'm like, I don't fucking blame him. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
100.
And then yeah, to find out the new icing on the cake was HBO was like, "Hey, we'll just put a producer and name only credit. You still make, essentially millions off these spin-off shows." And they went, "Nah, we're good."
Here's the thing. People who are going to watch those spin-off shows, if they see those guys' names anywhere on those credits, they're not watching that show.
Yeah, but that wasn't the reason to say no.
I'm just saying, HBO, why risk that?
I
How
know.
much these guys are hated by the community now. Maybe just distance from them.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's just the like how do you say no to that? I would have been like, "Yeah, sure. You don't want me on, I don't have to be on set, I don't have to be involved. Yeah, sure, give me that free money."
The last time I saw either one of those guys, they were the lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. One of their wives was playing, and one of the guys was the lifeline. Like not
He's
playing the
great.
game. He was the phone a friend.
Or apparently they got a new show on Netflix coming out called Three Body Problem.
Well, I can't wait to not watch that.
I'm not watching it after that shit.
No.
And then to see them, like I said, turn down that money, bitching about, like, I may have my feelings on Ryan Johnson when it comes to The Last Jedi, but to bitch about, like, what do you get out of that? Like, you're not getting, if you thought you were going to somehow get your Star Wars film back, it ain't happening since you're bitching about their fucking people they did ask to make movies for, like, you fucking idiots.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they just go away quietly, and then one day one of them dies, and we're all sad about it. That's the next time I want to hear about them. Uh, The Beekeeper's awesome. It's in theaters. Go see it. Check it out. It's pretty good. Mean Girls and The Book of Clarence are also out. We didn't get to see those. I've heard decent things about The Book of Clarence. Mean Girls, I've heard kind of mixed things. Uh, Next week, the full release of Ava DuVernay's Origin, which could be divisive. I'm not entirely clear what the hell that movie's about. Looks pretty sprawling, kind of a cloud atlas of racism. And also ISS, new space action, possibly horror, definitely thriller movie about Russian and American relationships that sour pretty goddamn fast. Uh,
Yeah, actually, the writer for it was on this week's episode of the Movie Crypt talking about it. And dude, he went through some hell to get that movie made. Apparently, he had like the script ready to go in like the pandemic, and then the strikes happened. Like he went through hell to get that movie made. But he said he's very happy. He goes, usually writers are kind of like pissed off because they miss, it's always they don't get it. They miss the point of what I wrote. And he's like, "No, I really like what they did." He goes, it is what I wrote, and it's better than what I wrote." And he goes, "I really enjoyed it." So he had good things to say about it. I'm looking forward to it. If Cinemark actually put showtimes instead of telling me that advanced tickets are on sale without showtimes. Thanks, Cinemark. Um, but yeah, I want to try to check at least ISS out. It looks really interesting. This idea of like being stuck in space, and then the world goes into nuclear war, and what do you do when both the American and the Russian scientists are being told to take over the station. Basically, like it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good concept. So I hope we get to talk about that next week. If not, we got Reanimator coming for you on the Wednesday show this week. That's going to be a blast. And yeah, until then, take it easy. Keep watching movies.